All right, Pedro, let's take a look at your essay. Pedro, I'm going to go through and add some suggestions for here. So I'm actually going to change your essay. So hopefully you don't feel too mean about it or down about it. I'm just going to try to help you and edge you along the way here. So I'm going to just change some things about it. First and foremost, up here, actually, let me do this. Up here, you need, sorry, I had to reframe that for you. You need your last name, and then you go to insert and page number right here. Okay, so put your last name and page number right there. You want to make sure everything's Times New Roman. Okay, down here, this gets double spaced too, so you want to double space that. This does not need to be huge font. We want everything to be 12-point font. You obviously got too much space there, so you gotta delete all this space right here. I don't know, you got way too much space there still. Not exactly sure what that's doing. Alright, so you're going to write about how sleep deprivation contributes to Macbeth's downfall. Now, words like downfall don't need to be capitalized. And how everything that happened with Macbeth is associated with sleep deprivation. Okay, his behaviors, his hallucination, all of this is because the sleep deprivation. So because of is because of sleep deprivation, and sleep deprivation is going to be you don't have to capitalize that either. I should have said that up here too. Alright, so anytime you see it from now on, I'm going to let you do the rest. Don't need to capitalize it, okay? There are 4 symptoms in sleep deprivation, and all these symptoms have effects that can explain how Macbeth's downfall happened. Again, downfall doesn't need to be that. Now, the 4 symptoms are, you're going to make this all one sentence, okay? It's going to look funny because it doesn't change it too well in the suggestion part of this, but you're going to just make this all one sentence, all right? You're going to keep this going with the introduction. Now, you still kind of need a thesis here, and you still really need something at the beginning to kind of ease this into sleep deprivation, whether it's a statistic or something like that. You need something in there, plus a thesis. What is your message? Ultimately going to be about sleep deprivation, so you want to try to add that in there as well. All right, the format for your body paragraphs. Number 1 is topic sentence. This is a weak topic sentence, but at least you have one. The decision-making abilities is the first symptom that he had. Now, right after this, you want to see outside sources. So when you looked up information about decision-making abilities, we want to see an outside source about that. What do people with sleep deprivation do with decision-making? Then we want to see how Macbeth figures into the equation. You don't have to say the King Duncan, you just say King Duncan, and you would capitalize King too, so you want to make that a capitalize. Now, you talk about how he decides to kill the king, but that's really strange since he fought for the king. Again, you don't want to use the word very, but you know, really it comes down to, Pedro, is you're not looking too deep at this. You're just saying, oh, he had poor decision-making abilities, and he didn't do this. That was strange, and that's why he had sleep deprivation. We're not proving that he has sleep deprivation. We're proving that Macbeth's sleep deprivation does something to him, and that's your thesis that you're going to have at the end of your introduction. So that's eventually what you're going to get to in these body paragraphs, is the thesis, the reason why we're talking about sleep deprivation, because ultimately it does something to Macbeth. So keep thinking about what that something is. Alright, so your second symptom is depression. I don't think you have very good examples for what depression looks like, and the reason why I know this is because you don't have any outside sources. If you had an outside source that said people who are depressed do this, then you could tie it into Macbeth, then I would believe. So try to figure out ways that you can add those outside sources in there to make your examples seem like they connect, because otherwise you're talking about guilt and worry and consequences of his actions, but does that really tie into depression? I don't know, because you don't have any sources. Also, make sure that you have transitions here that say, now that I talked about this symptom, now I'm going to talk about this symptom. So you need those there as well. All right, he starts to screen very easily with people, and his messenger leaves him because of this. Now, I mean, he leaves because Macbeth tells him to leave, so be careful with that. Now, this you finally get into a little bit of outside source. This is the third symptom, high irritability. This is not a complete sentence, so we need to fix that. You, remember this is not, you can't use you or I. Get irritable with small things that there is no reason to get irritable about, maybe. Also, you get nervous and suspicious of people very easily. So I'm thinking that you had to look this up somewhere, so tell me where you found this information from. Remember, we're going to have a in parentheses an in-text citation. Another thing we can see in the play, this would be like a semicolon. Macbeth starts to trust nobody, gets suspicious of Banquo, and in this aspect makes Macbeth become a lonely person. Okay, so we need more outside sources that are cited. We need more examples. We need quotes from the play. Can you find any quotes that you can use in any of these paragraphs? All right. Makes you less concentrated and less coordinated. Remember, we're not using you. We're not using very. I'm having a hard time seeing how your main points kind of support that. He's a really bad king, and everyone leaves him. That's true, but what does less coordinated or less concentrated have to do with that? And he's not the one that really starts the war. England is the one that decides to attack Scotland, so it's not the other way around. Anyways, I think you need some better points for that. But if you can't find a source, outside source, or if you can't find a quote from the play that really backs this up, you have to question yourself whether it's really a good source. So he had a disease, and this disease definitely was not treated. Caused everything that happened. He killed innocent people and started a war without reasons, or more people died because of this. So you don't need a conjunction there. It's treated. You can move that up. It is likely that Shakespeare never wrote this play thinking about disease, while the symptoms fit very well. Pretty weak intro or clincher there. Something along better about a theme would be nice. This isn't how you do a works cited page. Let me show you real quick what one looks like. So here's an example of post-traumatic stress disorder and what a works cited page would look like. It's in your packet, Pedro, but here's just some more examples. Here's what a website would look like. Here's what the book would look like. Things like that would draw me into your or tell me what your works cited documents were. All right, Pedro. I know this is not your natural language. I know this is probably a pretty hard assignment for you. But you're not going to get any better unless you get help from me too. So don't be afraid to ask me for help. And hopefully we'll see a rewrite out of you. And hopefully it'll make sense to you in the long run. So good luck.